So we're gonna start on the refs practice, like the basics. Guys, this is not deep practice or something like skilled veteran stuff, but that's the basic you should do as the ref, no matter which like elite spec you are. Actually, the most DPS actually is Vindicator. I need to say you the first stuff that is important. Vindy, or actually the ref specs as it all, are the pretty hard to play, and actually the DPS is not like the other classes. Actually the top DPS is like you know, the meta classes. The Vindy or the ref specs as it all is a little bit out, and it's not played much by all the guilds and alliances because it's need like a little bit of practice. It's not instant DPS, it's mostly like continuously, or like DPS that is all the time. So actually you are, if you start DPS, you can hold this DPS all the time where you are in fight. It's not a drop down. Actually there is some circumstances about it, because you as the ref, as this spec, you will like, if you do stuff wrong, you actually have 0 DPS. If you play different builds, you go 0 DPS. So actually this is why it's got so many circumstances. So many guilds and alliances don't play refs or at all Windies, conduits and heralds. So we're gonna discuss this as it is, and I'm just gonna give you a tip because I see a lot of players in the alliances playing refs. So actually it's need to know to play it correctly, or if you want to learn it. But as I said, it's, I think on the terms of DPS classes nowadays, it's still pretty hard. I think it's among, I think, the top DPSs, but it's the hardest DPS to learn. So actually go on this like this, and let's start. First of all, we're gonna start with the whole, like, not setup, but the equipment as itself. As the ref is go around one specific trait, you actually don't need to have much critical chance. Actually it's around 60, it's okay. 60 critical chance is everything you need. The I'm mixing currently the Berserker with the Marauder, so 6 Marauder, 6 Berserker. Also because you are running like many players doing this bad, and this is why they have low DPS on the terms of like whole Windies or refs. They're using bad runes. Actually many of them using scholar runes. They are not bad, but actually the Dragon Hunter runes, even they are much more expensive. I think didn't check the auction house today, but it was the expensive one, or actually hard to get. It's because you don't need actually any time of the like more ferocity you got. I say it simple, more ferocity you got, more DPS you got. So actually if you got more ferocity, that means you're giving more DPS, because actually you don't need to focus around the precision because you are playing ref. And this is why at the build you got this talent, the Rolling Mists. It's increasing the critical hit chance over the Fury that you got, I think, 90% of the time. It's increasing their effective. So you see that my like Fury, it's 40% critical hit chance plus. If I don't have it, it's 20%. So if I'm staying this, like the build it is as itself, and I just hit the skill that's give me ferocity, so like this skill, you see I'm 99.4 actually. Okay, so almost 100%. So this is it. So this is why you don't need to have. If you're playing like Dragon Hunter runes, if you're playing Scholar runes, it's okay actually. You can play this. On the other hand, on the Relic side, actually the best is the Thief, because the ref is like the easy to get full 5% stack, and it's most easier to get. So for me it's like the way to go. If you want a little bit more DPS, it's actually good to go Claw. I don't know if I have, yeah, the Relic of Claw. Actually that's a 7%, so it's a little bit more. And that's basically all. For the like small squads, for the roamings, actually the best way is still the Swiftness one. I actually don't know where it is. No. For the roaming and stuff is good. This the Relic of Speed. The Swiftness is like instead of 33 is 66%, so actually this is good. So this is it, but this is only for the roaming and small scale fights. Actually you should be stacking with the, or stack with the Thief or the Claw, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, on the weapon, I know that many refs playing bow because it's so nice, so clear, is so much effects and details on the fights, but the bow can be used like 20 squad max. And if you're facing also around something like roamers, if you're facing the 50s like we were yesterday, and we are 50 or 40 or like we're playing around today at average, you cannot go this way, okay? You cannot go because the bow don't have piercing. So everything you shoot, it's reflect, and if the enemy group is playing domes and reflection and stuff, actually every squad's playing this. Every squad, every guild, every alliance playing this because the composition is like it is. So actually if you're playing bow on the zerg fights, on the big fights, that's 0 DPS there. Yes, sometimes you hit something by mistaking, but you see, and you already saw it in some fights, if you test it, that you got absorb, immune, and this kind of stuff back, or reflect, and so on. So basically you cannot hit anything, okay? So this is just for the case you understand that that's simple stuff and circumstances around. Another point that is the best weapon to use as the ref is the GS. GS is the best weapon on the terms of DPS. Actually sword is also good, but it's again a little bit more movement weapons choice, so it's also has pretty decent DPS. But if you want to have top DPS and want to play top, we will actually saying the stuff around it and test the skill, so I'll show you why. You need to play GS. That's your main weapon on the terms of melee or the terms of close range engages and so on, because it's got movement and so on. In the terms of the runes inside of the weapons, or what you can call it, the hydromancy and the force, actually the best way. Force increasing the DPS, and the hydromancy, every time you're swapping from the previous weapon you go AoE chill, so actually you pop ages from the enemies and it's easier for you to hitting them because you also apply the chill, so you slow them. So this is why. On the terms of another weapon, there are two suggestions. For the playstyle we are playing, and actually how the meta is playing, is better to go spear. Spear with GS is actually one of the top, because the fights are pretty closer. But if you playing like, you need to just understand this game, and also you can ask or whatever, you know it on the voices. Also you got pretty much, we got pretty much experienced refs in squad, so actually you can ask them too. The hammer is pretty good because it cannot be reflected so easy, because most of the skills are ground orientated, so it's a little bit difficult to reflect them. And another thing is that the spear is good with the 4 pulls, with the 5, that's actually you are stacking, and if you got 3 stacks from the 5 and go melee and swap for the GS, you actually give a large AoE bomb around you, so it's actually increasing your DPS. Okay, so this is good. And also spear can be used ranged and close range, or melee, you can say it. Okay, so this is the weapons to go. So actually around these 3 weapons you should be going around. If you go for the build is like self-explanatory as itself. Actually you're going invocation, increasing the DPS above 90, all DPS. The spirit boon is actually here only for that, because you are playing the dwarf and the alliance stance, and if you're swapping you actually give some stability around, so actually you helping a little bit your sub squad. Okay, so this is it. You can choose to go instant response. It's actually also good, because you generating yourself a little bit more might, that's all. Or if you got problems with swiftness, so actually you are all the time behind, you can go rapid flow, but actually this is again more like roaming stuff, but actually it can help a little bit. Okay, so you can remember that. And as the end, rolling mists, as I said before, this is must go. You cannot put this anywhere. You can't, simply can't. It must be like this. So this is it for the invocation line. Mine check for you is that in the traits it's must like this to be. Okay, I know I say it like Yoda totally right now, so the English was bad, but what you see right now on my screen, it must be directly this if you want to be like proper, if you want to do the stuff, and if you want to like be useful for your sub squad. If you want to change the stuff and so on, basically with every change you're losing more than 25% of effectiveness for the sub squad. So that's the basic. The devastation line is again simply you go straight 2s because more DPS, you got more might and less condition damage. You are power focused spec right now. You going Marauders, Berserker or Dragon, I think. Let me check that, I think, or just hit the squad chat if you got different ideas on that, but I think there was a Dragon, the third type of equipment you can use. And the last one, it's the most important, is Swift Determination. It's about that, the Swift Determination increasing your DPS about 20% when you're hitting the enemy below the 50% of HP. So this is actually to go. If there is the situation that your sub squad don't have quickness, like we have, but sometimes depends on the players how they can go or not. Actually, good point is to go brutality because that's the quickness every time you're swapping the webs, so you got in quickness, so that's also good. And you got also quickness, so everything is casting like a bit faster, and you got 10% increased DPH at all costs when you hitting the enemy with stability. You know how the fights are like evolving right now, or how the fights are evolving, or how do you want to call it. You know that every squad's got stability, right? So actually this is permanent buff for you, so as it is. In the terms of Vindicator line, you actually need to go like this, because Leviathan strength giving you increased another 10% of DPS every time you got out of one bar. So that means you need to constantly dodging and pre-dodging in the fights because you're increasing your DPS about 10% and getting the death drop. So it's this actually AoE around you. It's also giving you the forerunner of that, and that's another 15% for all DPS you're getting. This is this buff, okay? So actually with one dodge you got 25% of DPS more. So this is why the Vindicator is so high DPS pressure class. Actually, because 25% on this is actually crazy. And you're going energy melt because it's give you more endurance and grants endurance to your sub squad as itself. Actually, the vigor is not like much focused boon in the terms of squads. Some of the supports can give it, but not all the time. So actually the 50% endurance regeneration is great. So actually if you dodge double time and slash F2, actually you rest almost one bar of that, so it's also good. Okay, so actually you got 3 dodges if you play it correctly. This is it about the build. Right now we're gonna discuss the stances, or the legendary stances, or how do you want to call it. In the terms of legendary stances, you should be avoiding to swap alliance stance from the one to another. So actually the red one is your mind to go. The second one can be like if you just misclicked, or sometimes it can happen you don't have secondary, or like your secondary drop, you can actually go there, but you should be using only this actually, because the tree song is removing the conditions in the area where you press it, and it's give like some endurance up. So actually it's gonna help you without emo and stuff if it's necessary. So this is it, nothing more useful. The healing skill, it's not good or even bad, it's like something like similar. And if you see, this is the one heal. If I'm putting one heal and swap immediately to another stance, I got another heal. So actually you got 2 heals in one section on the one legendary stance. So this is it. The differences between the heals is like written here. The selfish spirit from the red side of the alliance stance is actually better because it's also giving the DPS while healing you. So actually if you're getting the downies and start to heal yourself, you actually heal yourself and giving DPS around you, so it's also good, right? So this is it. Break stun on the reverse range is actually great. Stability and daze, so it's good. If you wanna know the nomads, the advance, it's actually great gap leaper. So actually the combos with that is like number 3, number 5. Actually you can go large distances to the enemy, and also the nomads advance, it's pretty high hitting. So if you're escaping, this is what I show you. If you are like moving inside of the enemy, it's actually good. Like if you dodge bad, just dodge once, number 3 on GS, and immediately take the enemy and hitting, because this is hitting 5 enemies for 1700 DPS. So actually it's pretty hard hitting. Okay, so that's great on this. The like 80% of the time, you're gonna be using scavenger burst. Why? Because it's actually AoE on pretty nice range. You see, it's pretty nice range. If you hit it, you give yourself also quickness and some might. So it's actually pretty awesome. You giving that some burning and some DPS, but it's mainly here for quickness uptime. So actually, if you are on the hammer, it's gonna really help you to get your rotation in. We're gonna just discuss the stuff around, but actually I need you to be focused and not only listening the video and stuff. So actually we're going over small rotation also. So actually if you're going for the range spike, actually number 4 of the Field of the Mist is good to have all the time, because actually it's ages and it's like reflection in front of you where you are facing, and when you're spamming 1 over that 4 is actually life leech. So actually you're leeching the life from the enemy. Number 5 is resetting the CD of the number 2. So it's actually good because if you use number 2, immediately 5 or precast better. Number 2 and 5 is actually reducing the DPS if you're hitting anybody, if you actually hitting anybody with a 5. Number 1, you should spam this, is pretty high hitting, so you all the time spamming 111 on the enemy. You just pick one enemy and hitting him like hard. If you wanna see the whole rotation, actually the best rotation is going scavenger burst, go 5, 2, 3, and you can right now hit 2 and you get inside of the 3-second window. Okay, so actually if the commander is counting 3, 2, 1, you start your rotation on the number 2, so you go scavenger 2, 3, 5, 2. Okay, so different times, but actually the most important, if it's too fast for you, you're still learning that, to hit the skills actually and accurately with at least the scavenger and hit 2 and 3. So on the 1, that should be all the stuff. Okay, this is it. So this is the main rotation on the range or mid-range or whatever, just if you're playing hammer. And you should be popping the scavenger in from. Also another stuff that I don't want to forget to say, it's like you need to dodge before it. Why? Because right now you got 25% DPS. Okay, so you're gonna be dodging once, scavengering 2, 3, 5, 2, and moving with commander. Actually this is the 3, 2, 1 go. Many commanders going 3, 2, 1 go, like I think I can say 75% of commanders going 3, 2, 1 go to like have all the spike DPS on one spot at actual one time when they want and where they want. Okay, so this is it. If you're gonna be swapping on the dwarf, actually the dwarf is like one of the strongest legendaries in the whole game. Like, it's crazy. Many refs know this calls is actually called the stairs. It's in spike reinforcement. This is the stairs, and you see it's almost inside of the enemy. It's pulsing stability for the whole sub squad around you, and as long as you're staying inside of that for the duration of that skill, it's actually good to go. Like if we just staying on the close range and the commander is moving like, I don't know, no, somewhere here, you actually catch the move and just move it here with the dodge, so you actually have be ready for the range calls and actually have stability for your sub squad. Okay, so preventing to get pulled. Also you can go like number 4, so actually you got projectiles and 111 in the enemy side, so actually it's also good. On the terms of CC, the forced engagement is actually hard to land, but if you hit, actually it's stunned, so that means if you hit the enemy start moving towards you. It's great for the pushing enemy commanders if they are a little bit out of their squad or in the front of the squad, or for the members of the enemy squad that are out of the squad, like they cannot reach them or got slowed and stuff, so actually you can help it. The elite skill is one of the top because it's giving you and your 5 players in your sub squad the buff of the right of the Great Dwarf for the 5 seconds, and it's reducing the DPS, fully DPS, about 50%. You still can get condition and control effects, but you have Breakstone here for yourself and 50% reduction. So that means if the commander is calling for the bunker, you actually can hit this and you got the 50% reduction for 5 seconds for whole sub squad. By the way, dwarf is shared stance among all refs. You cannot play anything else in the terms of zerg squad, either conduit and this kind of heralds and windies. You're playing dwarf always, so actually this is similar from them. So this is it. Also it's breakstone, disengage, and also careful with the energy management there, because it's like 40 energy, so if I'm putting like I'm down the energy, so actually cannot do the stuff. Another stuff that is important, actually, I don't mean the healing skill, it's removing the conditions from you, it's healing and so on, it's the hammers. The hammers, actually, if they are active, they're reducing the DPS and condi DPS that you are getting about 20%, and it's really hard hitting skill. Really hard hitting, and it's unblockable, so actually you will be hitting with these hammers around you all the time when you are in the enemy or when the enemy is inside of you in the terms of the squad fights. So even if you like swapped bad weapons and you are stuck in the dwarf right now, and for example I'm trying to range and stay on the hammer, swap for the GS because we weren't go range, right now we're gonna stay in the melee and I getting stuck on the hammer, you can just smash the skill and DPS around you, slashing 2 on the ground, 1115, and just have the hammers around you. It's really heavy hitting cleave with the dodges and stuff. Remember one thing, that the dodge is also the DPS. It's giving like not big DPS, but it's giving a hard hitting skill, like it's gonna help you like in the 25 might stack. It's actually hitting like for, I can say 1 or 2k, maybe more 2k actually. So is it like it is? So this is it. Yeah, and this is it. This is need to be practiced like you saw it right now. If you want to go range spike, it's actually we're gonna be range spiking on them in 3, 2, 1, and you should be landing the skills there on that one. So actually we should be flying with number 3 together to create one big hard hitting spot. So this is it. But as you see, we don't play much refs in the squads, and no, I think no guilds in the Europe is playing this. So mostly in US they are playing refs as the main DPS classes, not in Europe actually. So we have different meta. But actually this is why I'm showing you, because many of you trying to play it. So actually it's good to know. Okay, the elite skill here on the, I'm going back to the alliance stance, the spear of Archimorus, or how is it called, that guy. It's actually like need to be on some enemy, you summon the, I don't know, some statue, and it's hitting, it's pretty high hitting skill, but actually it's the waste of all the stuff you can. So actually it's not used in the zerg so much. Actually maybe if you want to hit one player that want to escape, it's hitting pretty hard, so it's also good. Okay. This is it, and one swap you can do. Actually sometimes it's happening that too, that you got, I don't mean in our times in our alliance we are actually playing on that, but in the open tags and on the another tags you see that they already starting to play something like old meta. They sometimes play 2 supports, so primal and secondary with 3 DPS in. And if this happen, actually that's 100% chance against the enemy that's playing the melee mostly, you're gonna be missing the boons, so the protection is actually pretty good. So you lost a lot of DPS, and it's only should be used if you don't have protection, and if it's the case like I'm saying right now, you go this, because the area of drop is a little bit bigger, and you actually give might on the dodges and protection for your 5 sub squads. So this is also good. But as I said, it's only in the emergency situation where you don't have protection and getting really high hits, and you see that your protection uptime is not here from your secondaries or primary support. So this is it. I think this is all. Right now I showed you the range rotation. The melee rotation is simple. You can just give whole rotation at once. This is, again, this weapon is like similar to the rest of the classes or refs as it is. Don't open with the Eternity Requiem. Many refs opening with this skill, and actually you lowering your DPS. Why? Because actually if you're getting inside of the enemy and we're gonna take the out as the enemy, if I'm moving inside of them with the gap close, I actually move on him and remove the ages, and after that you should be hitting 2 and dodging again. So actually it's dodge, move in, 2, dodge again, and 5. So actually you have 100% chance that the enemy don't have the ages and maybe not the protection, so you can kite him or give him high DPS. And immediately after the second drop you should be casting F2 and hammers immediately. So you will have another DPS and just spamming 2, 3, 2, 3 and again. Okay, so this is it on the terms of the weapons. Okay, and because we're gonna go for the conduit also, I also right now take a small like break even in the video, so we can go for the conduit.